Well, hello and welcome to this week's update here on YouTube. Now, I spoke about setting up a butterfly trade last week with Walmart, and that's exactly what we did. We set it up like this, where we looked for the stock to pin at 130, and we sold two of the 130 puts, bought one at 5 above 135 and one 5 below 125, right? So sold two and bought two. Only costs $65 a contract to do that. Let's have a bit of a look at Walmart first. Okay, there's Walmart here. And you can see that the stock actually had a big move down on Friday, and we were at 131.60. That was enough for us to lock in our profit here and make a 400% return on our risk. Happy days, right? One of our members here that did well entered the trade for $395, so took 5 contracts and closed that out 5 days later for $995. So made a $600 clear profit off a $395 risk. Pretty impressive, right? Turned $395 into $995 in 5 days. It's fantastic. We did another trade like that with Tesla, 50% return in 2 days on that trade. We closed it out before the stock split, which has now occurred. So 2 really great trades that I showed you guys live last week. So that's what happened there. Now, as far as what we're looking to get into this week, let's have a look here at Tesla. So Tesla right now is sort of going a little bit sideways, right? We know that it's had its 3-for-1 stock split. So, whatever the stock price was prior to the split, divide that by 3. That's what it is now. If you had an option, for example, let's just say you had the 880 strike call option, divide that by 3. That's your new strike price, right? So what's that? $266.67, right, would be the new strike price. And you'll see that when you look at the option chains. I'll just show it to you here. You will see that these are all, they're not round numbers anymore, right? They're not whole numbers, should I say. 0.33, for example. So that's where they're coming from. That's why it worked like that. So the 880 strike would be what did I say? The 267, probably the 293.33 call, right? So if you had, for example, the 880 strike call prior to the stock split, now you've got the $293.33 call. Okay, so it's actually just divided that by 3. So anyway, that's what happened there. Now, for me, looking at Tesla right now, if I looked at the option chains for, say, the monthly expiry, the 16th of September, 19 days from now, when I look at this, I see some pretty heavy volume on the call and the put side at 266.67. That's obviously where that number was coming from. 266.67. Look, we can see on the put side, 54,200 in open interest, and on the call side, 46,300 in open interest, right? So, we've got 100,000 in open interest at that strike of both calls and puts. So we may be looking for Tesla to move down. I mean, for me, before we talk about that, the overall market, let's have a look, we saw that it had a big move down on Friday, down 3.3%. So had a huge move down, and that was a result of Jerome Powell saying that he would continue to raise rates and fight inflation, be very aggressive about it. They're not going to back off on this fight against inflation. And as a result, we saw the markets move down, right? He was being very hawkish in his views. However, the trend right now, which is the most accurate overbought, oversold reading on the planet, is at 2.1. So when you're getting a trend above 2, that shows that, for the next 1 to 3 days, 90% of the time, you get a little bounce higher, right? Or you get a move higher. So that would lead me to believe that we could potentially move up to this pivot low here before then selling off again down to this pivot low here, right? So to give that some context, maybe having a bit of a move up to 4120, something like that, up to that pivot low, and then moving down here to approximately 3195, something like that, right? So that's what I think is probably going to happen. A little move up and then sell off again. So certainly I see more selling Maybe not immediately, maybe not on Monday or Tuesday, but certainly selling will proceed from there. However, we do have the non-farm payroll, the employment situation on Friday. Got to keep an eye on that, because if you do get a poor jobs number on Friday, that may cause the Fed to back off from its hawkishness, right? Being very hawkish. I think it may back off if we do get a bad employment number here. The reason that this jobs number is important is because it's the last time you'll see the job numbers before the Fed meets in September. So it's definitely going to be something that they are going to be watching very carefully. Okay, so keep an eye on that as well. Now, for me, I am looking for Tesla to, like I say, have a move down. It's right now in between the 200 and the 21. Doesn't live in between there for too long. It's going to have a move up or down either way. But for me, looking at that, at the pinning and the amount of open interest there at the calls and puts, we could easily have a move down to that 266 level, right? Which is pretty much right at the 50-day moving average, right? To have a move down to the 50, especially if the overall market moves down, I think that's pretty good chance of that happening, right? So I've actually set up a butterfly there as well. But another thing you could do is, if you were being conservative and looking for this to move to say 280, right, which is just before the 100 EMA, could that happen? Could it move from 288 down to 280? Very easily, right? So we could set up a trade here on Walmart that would look something like this, right? You buy the 130. Sorry, that was Tesla. That's Walmart. I had another idea here on Tesla. Well, there's another trade for you on Walmart, right? But I'm not showing you that one. Okay, so I'm looking for this to move down to 280. Okay, so how would I take advantage of that? Well, 16th of September, we've seen the pinning there at the 266.67 strike, but we're going to be very conservative here, and we're looking for it just to fall below 280. Okay, so I'm going to buy the 285. Before I do that, I'm going to click on Strategy Builder. So let's do this just so you guys can see it. Put side, because we're looking for it to move down. Buy the 285. So click on Ask. Sell the 280. Click on Bid. Right, it even says sell leg when you hover over it. Bid 170. Ask 250. Probably going in there at about 220. Okay. So that would be the trade, right? Now, I wouldn't look to try and make the maximum profit off it, right? I would set my stops within that. I would set my profit taker at 420, my stop at 120, setting up an asymmetrical opportunity in my favor, 2-to-1 in my favor, right? So that's what you could do with that trade. So again, keep an eye on the jobs number this week. That'll be very important. The market will be watching that. But my view right now, market move up a little bit and then sell off. The other thing you would look at here is the Dixie, the US dollar. Is this a double top? So there's a top there. And is that another top? Are we going to then move down? Because the fact that as we can see, the US dollar has been moving up and away, that's pretty bad news for stocks, certainly for crypto and most things. So this is going to be interesting. Is this double top going to actually work out and we're going to start moving down on the dollar? If that happens, that will help Bitcoin, right? The Bitcoin and the US dollar are inversely related, right? US dollar keeps going up, Bitcoin will keep going down, and vice versa. Okay, so we need it to sort of, a bit of a big day there on Friday. The sellers tried to drive it down, the buyers drove it all the way up to finish at the high there. So it'd be interesting to see, is this a little bull flag now going to break out? Who knows? But watch that double top pattern as well. If it does start to break down, Bitcoin will move up, and probably so will the market as well. So keep an eye on that also. That's another thing you would want to be watching very carefully, as well as that jobs number on Friday. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, got something out of it. Let's see what happens this week, and we will take some small trades with small risks, and we will position ourselves to make money if the markets do have that move down, as I'm anticipating over the next week or so, and we'll take it from there. All right, my friends, talk to you next week. All the best, and bye for now.